Welcome everybody. Homework 68, Mr. Gazda here. Here we go. Station model. You absolutely need page 13 of the reference table, page 13. This is going to help you with all of this. Absolutely need it. Absolutely. So what you're going to do is you're going to, in this area, you're going to create a station model for this data. Only the data here will go on a station model. If it's not listed here, you don't write it on. So draw a circle in there. Okay, and this is going to be your guide. Let's do the first one. Cloud cover, 75%. Cloud cover is listed here. It's how much is colored in. This example they give you is 75% cloud cover, so you want to color in, 3/4 of the circle, and you want to do it like this. I do recommend you should be doing this in pencil because you will make errors and have to cross out. And I'm doing it in pencil as well. So something like that. It doesn't matter what 3/4 you color. That does not really matter what piece of the pie gets uncolored, but 75%, that's done. Wind direction from the south, and this is where kids have trouble. Wind speed here, you always use this as a guide. This wind direction is from the southwest, meaning it goes this way, so it goes from the end towards the center. So if I want from the south, the wind direction has to go like this. Okay, this is showing that the wind is blowing that way. Make sure you know that. Wind speed 15 knots. You're also going to go here. And the feathers show the knots. One whole one, that's 10. Half of one is 5. This shows 15 knots. You're going to do the same thing. The direction they go doesn't matter. Off this side is fine. You could do them off the other side. That doesn't matter. 15 knots. Air pressure, 1,006.0 millibars. Now, to draw them on the reference table, you always just 3 numbers. So this way is a little easier. From a full number to here is a little easier. Look at this example here and deduce from examples that you're given how this works. So look at this number. What do they write here? The last 3 numbers, 196, no decimal, no units. So we'll do the same thing here. And it is going to be the last 3 numbers, no decimal, no units. So it's 060. 060, and that's the proper location. Okay, right there. What else? Air temperature, 42 degrees Fahrenheit. So temperature, it just says temperature here, but that means air temperature. It goes in this general location, kind of like this, and no units on it. And ours is going to be 42, so it goes about here. 42. Do not write units. You write units, you're wrong. Dew point temperature is right here, 27 degrees Fahrenheit. In this case, and then here, you're going to do 32 degrees Fahrenheit. It's going to look like this. Again, no units. Present weather, thunderstorm. And present weather here is always a symbol. Where are the symbols? Down here. The thunderstorm symbol is unique in that it looks like that. And it's going to go in that general area right there. Thunderstorm, so it's something like this. And this is for a meteorologist reading a weather map could look at this location and they can deduce all of that. And the more they do it, the better they get at it. And that's the first one. Let's do the second one. Okay, station model, draw another circle. And, oh, that circle stinks. I'm sorry, I apologize. Let's make a better circle than that. Notice how I'm taking time and making sure my work looks good and presentable. I don't want to give any garbage or junk. Cloud cover, 25%. Cloud cover here use this as a guide. This is 75%, so I want to color in 1/4 of the circle. I think a lot of people just do this part. It doesn't really matter what part you color in. Just do that. That's 1/4. Wind from the northwest. Okay, wind also, again, this is from the southwest. So from the northwest is going to go this way. So I want to go like this. Wind from the northwest. There we go. Check that off. 10 knots. One long one. One long one is 10 knots. Again, also on here, down here, a whole feather. These are called feathers. Are 10. Half is 5. Okay. And so I have that. Air pressure in millibars. Again, we're going back to this. This is our one example. It has, this is what the air pressure is, and this is the sort of shorthand or the abbreviated version that gets written on the station model. Last 3 digits, no decimals, no units. Therefore, last 3 digits looks like 980, and it goes right here. 980, that's where it goes. Air temperature 65 degrees Fahrenheit. This is where air temperature goes. Dew point goes here. No units on it. Therefore, I got to kind of fit this in, and maybe I have to write 65 right there. Sometimes your wind direction can get in the way, and 48 goes right here. Okay. So I did this one. You should do this one on your own. Let's go on to the back, and let's go on to the back. Here we're taking this and we're filling them out. So some things that you're going to need to do is this. So cloud cover. Again, use this as a guide. Cloud cover, half of that's colored in. 50% cloud cover. 50%. Don't write 50. 50% is key. The units are very important here. Wind direction. From this way, right? It goes this way. So that's going to be from the, and if you have the typical, you know, you have to assume it says north, south, east, west. It's from the northeast, from northeast. Wind speed, right? These are 10, 10, 20, 25. 25, what? Don't just write 25 and don't write 25 miles per hour because those represent knots. Okay, that is the unit, knots for wind speed. 25 knots. Air pressure. This is the one that's going to be tricky. Pay attention to this. Now, we're doing the reverse of before. So this is 120. Now, that's not the air pressure. The air pressure is going to be a larger number. It's going to have a decimal in it, and it's going to have units. So how do you do this? Well, now let's go backwards. Look at what they do here. This is 196, and what they did, the real air pressure is that. So what's going to happen is that basically you have to know something about, and I'll just do this now. And this number is above 500. Okay, if it is above 500, you add a 9 in front. Add a 9. If it's below 500, you add a 10 in front. Now, I recommend that you memorize that. Okay, that's going to be important that you memorize that. That's going to be, thank you, Miss Cousin. I'll mute for the tornado comment, but, okay, now, you don't really need to memorize it in case you forget. You use this example here. Just remember something about 500, above or below, and add a 9 or a 10. This will tell you. If you know the 500, something about 500, realize that is below 500, and what gets added? A 10. Therefore, if it is above 500, you must then add a 9. In addition, your answer needs to be a reasonable millibar. So it has to be somewhere on this chart because these are reasonable millibar numbers that we experience in the atmosphere typically. So that's another way to check. Therefore, so this number here, above or below 500, it is below 500. So therefore, we're going to add a 10 and then a decimal. Here we go. So it's going to first write it out. 1, 2, 0. Write that full number out. Trust me. Then add your 10. Okay? And then, if you look back here as an example, you use it. There's a decimal place and it's millibars. Decimal place there. Millibars. 1012.0 millibars is the air pressure. That is tricky for kids. Make sure you get that down. Air temperature here is 60. Air temperature is right here. It's 62. Make sure you write 62 degrees Fahrenheit. Not 62 degrees because then it could be Celsius, which gets used often. 62 Fahrenheit. Dew point is right here, 60. And that is degrees Fahrenheit. Units are vital. Present weather, or those little, it looks like an equal sign. And it's right there, equal sign. That is fog. Present weather. Fog. Okay? Okay, please match up the last 2 digits of your locker number with those 2 letters and write those 2 letters on the front of your homework right next to your name. Please. So what gets tricky here is the air pressure. Let me do the air pressure here. As a matter of fact, I won't do the air pressure. I'll just do air pressure on this one, let's say. I'll just do some randomly. Okay. This. I have to remember the 500 rule. 500 rule. And if you just remember enough about something about if it's below or above 500, I add a 9 or a 10 so that it's a number in this range right here. If you remember that and then use this, you're good. 196, say to yourself, well, that's below 500. Well, then what do they add to get the real number? A 10 is added in front. So that tells me below 500, add a 10. Therefore, the other rule would be, the other side of that would be above 500, and then you add a 9 in front. This is above 500, so I'm going to add a 9 in front. Therefore, and you don't have to do this. This is not part of it, but I'm just doing it as an example. Do this. Write out my number, 998, add a 9 in front, write the number first, add a decimal, and then it's millibars. So this on a station model represents that the air pressure is 999.8 millibars. A little confusing at first. I definitely admit and agree to that. However, a meteorologist reading it will be very used to it. Let's do this one as an example. This one is 101 is below 500. Going back here, this is below 500. What gets added? A 10 and a decimal place. So the air pressure represented here is write out the number first, okay, then add a 10. So it's 1,010.2 millibars. Always want to check as 1,010 is right in here. It is on this chart. This is reasonable air pressures for locations in the troposphere. You're good. Let's do this one, for instance. Okay, 210. What is that? That is below 500. This is also below 500. I add a 10 in front again. Therefore, I'm going to write this number again. 210. Add a 10 in front. Add a decimal there. Therefore, 210 written there represents 1,021.0 millibars. Okay? So, with that said, you should fill this out. I'll leave you this air pressure to do right there. Make sure you get it right. Remember the 500 rule. And then, this part is really cool. I like this part. 1, 2, 3, these 4 on the bottom. Identify the error in each of these station models drawn. There is something off about each one of these. Some are easy to recognize, and some are not. It really require using that thing, what's it called? Your brain. Yes, it requires some thinking, look at the weather conditions, and some common sense. I really do like it. It is a bit of some of it's a bit of a brain teaser for people, and students seem to enjoy it as well. So, good luck with the rest of 68. Do that, and make sure you get this. Any questions, come see me. And good luck with the rest of 68. Mr. Gazda signing off.